Hey everybody, Moarhammer here. I've got another battle report for you. And it's a pretty good one. My Nurgle against High Elves, and we're trying something a little different. So for a start, we're playing the relatively new South Coast GT comp, which is a pool system put out by Hammer for their big tournaments, the South Coast GT in April, and which I'm sadly not going to, but oh well. We're just trying out one of their missions, which I'll go through in a second. So I'll jump right into it after the army breakdown. So here's a picture of deployment, and I'll quickly go through the mission. So in the middle of each of our deployment zones, you can see a little red marker with a round wooden piece on it. Now those are each of our fragments of the celestial compass. Mine is on my side, his is on his side. Now the point of this mission is to steal the other person's shard of the celestial compass. Now, to do that, you just have to move into contact with it, and then you move it away. You can pass it on to your other units in the movement phase, blah, blah, blah. Basically, the point is, if you hold yours at the end of the game, you win, and if your opponent holds... If yours at the end of the game, he wins. So, we were trying to defend ours while taking theirs, but there's also a little thing where if you're nearby it in your hero phase, you get tokens put onto your units, and then there's a chance that the celestial compass can explode and damage your units with electricity or energy of chaos or something. Either way, you want to stay far enough away from it, but close enough to it to capture it or defend it. So there you go. So deployment. On my side. On my side, you've got on the left-hand side, you've got 3 beasts of Nurgle, 3 plague drones. Behind them, 10 plague bearers. Then on the hill, you got at the front 10 plague bearers, a herald of Nurgle, who's sort of a chaos warrior, but he's a herald really. Then you got 3 Nurgling bases. And in the middle, next to the objective, you've got 10 plague bearers, 3 Nurglings, behind which is 3 Nurglings and the Great Unclean One. And on the other hill, you've got 3 plague drones, 3 more beasts of Nurgle, 10 plague bearers, and Epidemius. Oh, also another herald with the plague bearers. Now, I'm running one of the new formations in the Chaos Grand Alliance book, called the Tallyband of Nurgle, which I shall henceforth refer to as the Taliban, because I'm very, very childish. And the the point of this formation is it's going to be a Great Unclean One and 7 or more units of Nurgle, and then in every hero phase, every unit within 21 inches of the Great Unclean One heals D3 wounds, or in the case of Plague Bearers, D3 models. Now, the point of this formation is, if you've got, in the hero phase, 14 or more units in this formation, then you heal D6 wounds, or D6 models of Plague Bearers. And if you count, I have 15 units on the board. Which means that, as long as he doesn't kill a unit, my units are going to be healing D6 wounds a turn, which is, in theory, broken as hell, but I'm going to try it out anyway. So then on his side, you've got unit 10, starting on the left, you've got unit 10 Swordmasters, 10 Swordmasters. Behind that hill, you've got unit 15 or 20, big unit of Phoenix Guard with Caradrian. Then you've got 20 Bowmen with Alathanar, the shadowy bloke. Then he's got a Lawmaster on the hill with 5 Illyrian Reavers, a Dragon with a bloke on top, 5 more Illyrian Reavers as well. Somewhere at the back there, he's got another character, the guy with the banner, I think, the BSB, I don't know what he's called, whatever. He's got him as well. And then his dragon bloke is the general, and his command ability allows like 3 more command abilities to be activated within a certain range, which is pretty good. So all of his special characters have additional command abilities, so he'll be using all of them. So, without further ado, I finished deploying first because in this comp I can deploy a formation as one drop, so I just put down my entire army so I could choose who went first. And I decided to let him go first because I wanted to hopefully get that first double turn in. So he comes forward like this. His dragon plumps himself in the forest. He's pretty unkillable. He puts some rerolls to hit on one of the Illyrian Reavers, and he uses his command abilities where he can. But other than that, he comes around the flank with his Illyrian Reavers that are fast and kind of bunkers up in the middle a little bit with his Phoenix Guard and Dragon. His bowman came forward a little bit just so he could get them all in range of stuff to shoot. In the shooting phase, all his 20 bowmen and all the Illyrian Reavers shoot at the plague drones. They're able to kill one whole plague drone and put 3 wounds on another, which kind of sucked. So even though I could fairly comfortably heal those 3 wounds in my hero phase, I can't bring back models of plague drones, which is a bit sad, but hey-ho, it is what it is. So that's all his shooting. He's got no charges. So we go to the battle shock phase, and boom! I roll a 1 for this unit of plague drones who do have a banner, even though they don't look like it. And I get a plague drone back. Yay, I roll a 1, which is great. So they're back to full strength, and I can pretty comfortably heal those 3 wounds. So we go to my turn, and I do just that. I heal those 3 wounds. So his first turn of shooting was completely ineffectual, which is lovely. Big fan of that. I use the Glockin's command ability. I cast Mystic Shield on the Glockin, the Great Unclean One. I cast Mystic Shield on the Great Unclean One from himself, and he moves onto that hill, so he doesn't get any chances to shoot or charge in with his dragon or anything. I'm sporting a 2-up save sitting there, so that's something. The 2 counters on the Plague Bearers and the Nurglings are from the Celestial Compass thing, but they're moved, so they've accrued those 2 markers, but they've moved far enough away they can't get damaged by if the compass explodes or anything. Other than that, everything kind of moves forward. I move my plague drones and my beasts quite far forward. I'm hopefully going to get my plague drones into combat with his dragon. My herald should be within close enough range so I can plink off some mortal wounds on him, so that'd be ideal. Equally, I wanted those beasts to get into the Illyrian Reavers, and they should be close enough to that herald, who's in between the drones and the beasts, to get the double damage on 6s. That was the plan. On the left-hand side, I move my drones and my beasts there far enough forward, as far forward as I can. My game plan here is they're going to wrap around the left-hand flank. I'm pretty sure I can push 3 plague drones through 10 Swordmasters. I know they're really attacky, but they're also quite fragile. And then hopefully the plague drone can then nick the Shard of Celestial Compass, giving me the win. Meanwhile, everything else in the middle can tie up the Phoenix Guard and Bowman, so he can't get it back off me while I run away with my plague drones. That's my game plan. So, in the shooting phase, I do throw some death's heads from my plague drones, but it doesn't do anything. So we're going to right to the charge phase, and here it is. My beasts fail their charge, unfortunately. I roll a 4, and I needed a 5 to get in. My plague drones do manage to smash into the dragon, and I'm close enough to the herald to be able to get my mortal wounds on a 6, which would be great. I also managed to make a really long bomb charge with those plague bearers on the right hand side there, because they could. I wanted to try. If I get it in, great. I might be able to tie these guys up for a bit and at least get some wounds on them. So that's perfect. So we go into this combat first. I attack my plague drones, and I do really well. I'm able to put 5 wounds onto the dragon, which is fantastic. So he's nearly half dead. Well, that's a really good start. So then he attacks back over here with his Illyrian Reavers. He's able to kill 2 plague bearers, which is I'm okay with that, no problem. I attack back over here straight away, killing an entire Illyrian Reaver, which is great. More than happy with that. Unfortunately, I I misjudged my charge a little bit. He was just close enough to countercharge with all his Phoenix Guards. So that's what he does, and he attacks. But he's only able to do a single wound to the plague drone, which is pretty funny. So then he attacks with his dragon. He's able to put a single wound onto the plague drone with his first attacks, and then with the dragon's beak, who gets sort of D6 damage or something, he's able to kill the rest of that plague drone and put 4 wounds onto another, which is pretty good going. I was hoping I could get the double turn then and heal that guy back up to 4 wounds. So we go straight into the initiative roll-off, which I was really hoping to win, and I don't win it. He wins it, which is fine. I've still got that double turn possibility after this turn, which is okay by me. But I was pretty convinced those plague drones were about to suffer a horrible, horrible death. So he this is where we kind of realise that piece of the tree, the forest in the middle there, where all the units are around, is mystic. So you roll a dice at the start of every hero phase. On a 1, they can do nothing. But on a 2+, they re-roll failed wounds. So he does that, and every single unit, none of them roll 1. All of his units get the 2+, so all of those units are now re-rolling wounds, which is which is rough. So, not really a whole lot happens in his. Other than that, he uses his command abilities, so he's got reroll hits on a bunch of stuff. He doesn't his spells. I think he casts Mystic Shield on the dragon, so I wasn't getting any damage out of there in a hurry, apart from the hopefully mortal wounds. So we jump straight into his movement. Sorry, in his movement phase, he moves his Illyrian Reavers that were next to the beasts back. But other than that, not a whole lot happens. In the shooting phase, both units of Illyrian Reavers take pot shots at the Plague Bearers and kill 4 of them, which is pretty good going. So those Illyrian Reavers, I'm hoping they won't be able to kill them in combat, but you know they're not terrible with the ponies. Then with his dragon's fiery breathy thing, he's able to kill that last plague drone with 2 wounds left on him, so leaving only 1 plague drone. Then all 20 of his bowmen, who get +1 shot because there's 20 of them, take aim at the last plague drone, and they manage to plink 3 wounds off him. That's it. Because he rolled fine. I rolled absolutely out of the box for my armor saves. Here you go. Here's a picture of my armor saves for that 1 plague drone. On the left are all my armor saves. I was in cover, so I had a 4-up save. So on the left and on the right hand side you got my disgustingly resilience. So I just take 3 wounds from the bowman, and that's fantastic. So we go into the combat phase, and this is the one he chooses to do first, as you might expect, with his dragon, and he's easily able to smush that remaining plague drone. So that's out of the way now. But they did. I can't argue too much. They did really well. They did take 5 wounds off the dragon. That's a really good start. And over here, I attack with my Plague Bearers, and I'm able to bring down an Illyrian Reaver. I roll really well, which is a big fan of that. So we go into into my turn, because that's all I got left. My Great Unclean One casts Arcane Bolts at the dragon. I was just in range, and I'm able to plink another. I think I do a single wound to him, which is great. In fact, I might even do 3 wounds to him. I think I rolled a 6 for my Arcane Bolt, so I don't know. Anyway, either way, I've done a whole bunch of extra wounds to the dragon, and that's what's important. So we go into my turn. I heal the plague bearers fighting the Illyrian Reavers. An additional 1 plague bearer pops up. That's all, but I'll take it. Other than that, everything kind of moves forward. My plague drones go forward enough that hopefully I can hit the Swordmaster this turn. My herald runs up behind them. He's pretty close, so I might be in the mortal wound range there. And other than that, I'm not really too keen on charging my plague bearers into the Phoenix Guard. They'll probably get murdered quite severely. So he's re-rolling failed wounds and all that, so they're pretty nasty. So I didn't fancy my chances there. However, on the right-hand side, my beasts run up towards the Illyrian Reavers, and I have a bit of a plan here. And my herald, you can just see him in that forest the dragon's in. So hopefully he'll be close enough to the beasts to give him some double damage. Goodness. So we then go into my shooting phase, which is it doesn't really exist. My plague drones, they throw something but nothing happens. So we go to the charge phase. My beasts do manage to make it into the Illyrian Reavers, which is wonderful. So hopefully I'll be able to batter these guys something good. And then my plague drones over here make it into the Swordmasters. And they were just within the 7-inch range, I believe. So this is the one I choose to go with first, because I don't want these guys attacking me. I don't do too badly. I kill 4 Swordmasters in total, which is fine. I'd rather have done a bit better, but I'll tell you what I can get. Then he attacks over here with his Illyrian Reavers. He's able to do 2 wounds to a beast. That's it. He rolls really badly here. So then I go over here with my Plague Bearers, and I'm able to kill another Illyrian Reaver, which is fantastic. So they're down to 2 now. Then he piles in over here with his Swordmasters and is able to kill one entire plague drone and put 3 wounds onto another. Oh, which is rough. These guys are very nasty. But, you know, hey-ho. Then over here, my beasts attack, and I'm able to kill 2 whole Illyrian Reavers, which is wunderbar. So now they're running pretty low. So, we go into the initiative roll-off, and again, I was kind of hoping I could win it, because I could really use the extra turn now. And I do win it! Yes! So that's a great time to win it. Even though all his units are rerolling wounds, I still win it. So I believe I cast Mystic Shield, Arcane Bolt at the dragon again, but I think I might fail at this turn. I either fail or I do 1 wound to him. So, no, that's alright. I cast Mystic Shield on my Great and Clean one, that's what I do. I'm lying to you, sorry. So, movement. I heal more stuff, so the Plague Drone on the left-hand side with the Swordmasters heals all the 3 wounds he had. My beasts were just within 21 inches, the beast where the Illyrian Reavers were, so they heal their wounds, and I get another 3 Plague Bearers back against the Illyrian Reavers, so that unit's now approaching full strength again, which is great. Then I do my movement. My Great and Clean one comes down a little bit off the hill, just because I want to keep him a bit further forward, so the 21-inch bubble for his healing units is keeping everything covered. My beasts that were fighting the Illyrian Reavers flee from combat, and I do that because I can flee and charge with beasts because of the attention seeker rule. I want a new friend, and I want to kill that Lawmaster. He has to go, just because then he would have no casters, and that would be great. Then my beasts on the left-hand side run around. They hope they're going to help countercharge and hit the Swordmasters, just in case I need them to do the damage. Then all my Plague Bearers sort of come up a little bit. I'm not planning on charging, but you know, they need to be in a good position. All my Nurglings, by the way, I'm keeping a little back in case his dragon decides to charge, because if you pick up the Celestial Compass, you can't fly, so then I can pile on all my Nurglings and he'd have a difficult time getting away. Then I can just beat him to death with my Great and Clean one. That was my kind of plan. Not a very good one, I know, but, you know, give me a break. That's all my movements. We go into the shooting phase. There is actually some shooting now. My Plague Drones throw Death's Heads at his banner guy over there and do 2 wounds, which is pretty good, to be honest. Can't argue with that too much. The guy hits with one with a mortal wound, and then he failed to save, so great. So we go straight to the charge phase. Over here, my beasts hit the Lawmaster, and I'm fairly certain I can devour him. And then my Herald at the bottom there charges into his Illyrian Reavers, and are going to beat some of them up too. That'd be great. Over this side, my beasts hit the Swordmasters, and I was fairly confident I could do these guys in now, so that'd be great. So I go with my Plague Drones first, and that's exactly what I do. I beat the remaining 6 guys, and they all die, and that's fantastic. So they're out of the way now, and my Beasts and Plague Drones have got a fairly free run at that Celestial Compass Shard. So he goes over here with his Reavers, he attacks my Herald, and is able to do a single wound to it, and that's fine. Then I attack with my Plague Bearers over here, and I'm able to kill another Illyrian Reaver, so he's only got 1 left now. So he attacks with his Lawmaster, is able to plink a single wound onto the beast, who are then subsequently able to annihilate the Lawmaster, and that's great. I was within 7 inches of the Herald because he charged into the Illyrian Reavers, so I got double damage on 6s, so he had a fairly short life after that. Then I go with my Herald, and he's able to kill all the remaining Illyrian Reavers. Pretty boss. Big fan of this guy. So we go into his turn, and he kind of does a bit of movement. Not very. He's kind of moved back on the defensive foot. His bowmen turn and look at the heralds and the beasts. His dragon comes back with the intent of possibly charging the beast or just charging the plague drones or other beasts as they move around. His Phoenix Guard then also move off around to try and take on the plague drones because he knows he needs to stop them getting the compass shard. So we go into the. So you can see all the the W's. That's from the Mystic Forest. He didn't roll a single 1 again for all of those, so they can all act normally and reroll wounds. He's got rerolls of hits on his dragon, and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. So over here, he goes in the shooting phase, and his archers take aim at those 3 beasts on the left-hand side. Now, so they can do this thing, I think, where once per game they can shoot twice, which turns out to be quite a lot of shots. So, yeah, he shoots the beasts and boom, blows all 3 of them completely off the field. He does like 27 wounds to them or something, and I fail 18 of my saves, and they all die, which is sad. But I'll. So that is, however, the sum of his shooting. So he charges in his Phoenix Guard to the Plague Drones, and I was okay with that. Then his dragon and bowman charge into the beasts. I think his plan with the dragon was to charge him in, so he could still attack the herald, even though he was charging the beasts. That was what he's going for. So he attacks with his dragon first. He puts the attacks that he needs to onto the herald, and he's able to kill him quite easily. So he's getting rid of that locus, which is sad. And then with the rest of his attacks, he's able to kill 2 more of the beasts, putting 2 wounds onto another. So he's powerhousing through quite nicely now. So then I go over here with my Plague Drones, and I do really well. I'm able to kill 4 Phoenix Guard total. I roll quite a lot of 6s for my mortal wounds, and he fails a bunch of his saves. So 4 Phoenix Guard down, that's fantastic. Then over here he piles in with his bowmen. He's only able to do a single wound to the beast because they're bowmen, I guess. So then I go with my plague bearers over here, and I'm able to kill that last Illyrian Reaver, so they're out of the way now. That's great. And then he attacks with his Phoenix Guard. He's only able to do a single wound to the Plague Drone. He rolls like pants, and I make a bunch of my saves. What can you do? It was great. So we go into the initiative roll-off, and he wins it this time. So that's not the best time in the world for him to win it, but I'll take it. At least it gives me another chance to get one, I suppose. So his 3 characters, the back there, kind of move further back away from the oncoming horde of plague bearers to kind of help secure the objective. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of movement really. He's running out of units. So we go into his dragon does his fiery breath thing, but isn't quite able to kill the beast. He puts 2 more wounds onto him. He was really hoping to kill him, so his dragon could charge out. His bowman, Alathanar, the shadowy guy. I'm just going to call him Shadowy from now on, that's fine. Takes a shot at the Plague Bearers and is able to kill 2, which I'm planning to get back. So we go straight into the combat phase, and this is the one he does first. And he's able to do a bit better than last time. He kills a whole Plague Drone and puts a wound onto another, so they're now starting to look a bit reduced in number. I was a bit silly. I put a single wound earlier onto the guy with the banner, so I had to continue removing wounds off this guy, so I'm down the standard in that unit, which sucks. So I attack first with my beast over here. I'm just trying to, if I can kill 1 bowman, then he doesn't get his +1 to hit with them, because they'll be under 20, so that's all I was trying to do. Unfortunately, he totally fluffs his rolls and does nothing. So, and then his dragon piles in and is easily able to kill the remaining beast, and then is also sitting quite comfortably in terrain, which is wonderful. So I attack with my Plague Drone then, and I think I'm able to do absolutely nothing. I believe. I think I've fluffed my rolls again. So, but that's fine. He's not long for this world. So we go into my turn, and I start charging forward a bit more aggressively. And my plague bearers on the left hand side kind of come around the side of that house. They're going to hit the Phoenix Guard and help out with that Plague Drone. My Plague Drone flees from combat, jumps over to the Celestial Compass and takes it. So he recovers the wound he lost, and he takes the objective. So as long as those characters don't then kill me, I might have a chance of taking it. And then that's what I realised, that if I get the double turn this turn, I can get away from that thing, pass it on to one of my units of Plague Bearers, and I might even have the game in the bag. But if. No spoilers. Anyway, so the unit of Plague Bearers on the right-hand side heals another couple of Plague Bearers, so they're now up to 9 Plague Bearers. So that unit at the start that was nearly dead is nearly full strength again, and that's great. Big fan of that. And everything else moves forward. I'm even now pushing my Great Unclean One forward. So Epidemius' tally is now up to full with the removal of enough things. All the Illyrian Reavers plus the Swordmasters plus a few other bits and bobs. I've managed to kill enough to put Epidemius' tally on full, so all of my entire army now has +1 save and is re-rolling hits and wounds over 1. So that's great. So I'm not too fussed about my Great Unclean One getting killed now. So he casts Mystic Shield on himself, so he's sporting a 2-up save when he's not in cover, so that's great. I've got no shooting that does anything, so I think I had to run with my Plague Drone to get him into combat with the Shard. So we go into the charge phase, and this is a big one. I managed to hit my Plague Bearers into the dragon. Wasn't planning on doing anything, but as long as I can survive all the attacks coming at me with just one Plague Bearer, and he doesn't fail his Battle Shock, I'm tying this dragon down just for a turn, so he can't then charge my anything and do the damage he needs to do. So that's what these guys are doing, and they've been great this game, so fingers crossed. I also charge over here, the Phoenix Guard with the Plague Bearers, and all the Herald also goes in. You can just see him on the right-hand side, beneath the Phoenix Guard. I know I wasn't going to win here, but again, tying these guys down so they can't do anything against my Plague Drone behind them. So this is the one I do first. I attack with my Herald first, and he does really well. He kills 3 Phoenix Guard by himself. He just rolls all his hits, all his wounds, and he fails enough of his saves, and I'd roll high enough for my damage to take 3 of them out, and that's perfect. So he attacks over here next with his dragon, and yes, he isn't able to kill all of them. I've got 2 remaining Plague Bearers, and as long as I don't roll a 3 or more on my Battle Shock, I'm going to tie this guy down. That'd be perfect. So then my Plague Bearers pile and attack the Phoenix Guard, and I'm able to kill another 1, and that's great. Quite pleased with that. So then he attacks back with his Phoenix Guard and puts 2 wounds onto the Herald. So then I attack with my Plague Bearers. Obviously they're not able to do anything. Surprise, surprise. So, with that being the end of combat, we go into the initiative roll-off. And this one's a really important one. I knew that if I won it, I'd pretty much have the game. But if he win it, it was still open. So roll the dice, and I win it, which is perfect. Could not have taken that at a better time. So, this is what happens. I heal 3 more Plague Bearers from that unit of Plague Bearers that was in contact with the dragon, which is great. I heal the wounds off my Herald that was damaged, and everything else is basically buffed up to full. I cast Mystic Shield again on my Great Unclean One, and I push him straight forward towards the dragon, hopefully going to be able to plink the last couple of wounds off with him, just charge in and do the damage. My Plague Drone that has the Celestial Compass moves it back and passes it on to a member of the Plague Bearer units on the left-hand side. So which is lovely. Other than that, there's not really a whole lot of movement. Stuff comes forward. My Nurglings in the forest now are going to hopefully charge that archer unit. So that was my plan. This is a picture of me passing it off, the Celestial Compass off to the unit of Plague Bearers. And so we go to the shooting phase. I've actually got a small bit of shooting now. My Great Unclean One uses his the vomit, his noxious vomit, on the dragon, and then able to plink 2 wounds off, which is wonderful. But that's all my shooting, so I end up charging in. My Great Unclean One smashes into the dragon, and that's a battle for the ages. And then my Plague Bearers these Plague Bearers managed to make a long charge and hit Caradrian. Now this was mainly because I didn't want this guy hitting my other unit of Plague Bearers. This guy can be quite nasty in combat. I was trying to pin him here. This is essentially a throwaway unit. It doesn't matter if these guys die if I can get the objective away. So that's the plan here. Unfortunately, I do fail the charge with my Nurglings against the bowmen, but that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So surprisingly, I go with my Great Unclean One first, and I'm not quite able to kill the dragon. I batter him down to 1 wound left. He's got 13 wounds on him, so he's hanging on by a thread, but he's not quite dead. So I was a bit worried about what he'd do back to me, but he's nearly there. Maybe my Plague Bearers, that have clearly been MVP this game, might do the job, because they've lost like 15 Plague Bearers on a unit of 10. It's been great. So he attacks over here with Caradhrian next. He's able to kill 4 Plague Bearers, which is pretty good going, but it's fine, they're not going to go anywhere now. So I attack with my Herald next, but I'm not able to do anything this time, which is fine. Then he manages to pile in with his Banner Bearer guy, the BSB, with Caradhrian. Again, he's not able to do anything, he fluffs his rolls, so that's perfect. Then he does attack back. So then I pile in with my Plague Bearers, but again, I'm not able to do anything, surprisingly, so that's fine. Then he piles in with his Phoenix Guard. He's able to put 2 wounds onto the Heralds. Again, I'm just going to heal them next turn, so I'm not too worried about this. Then my Plague Bearers attack, and they are able to bring down a Phoenix Guard, which is great. They're dwindling in number swiftly. Then he attacks with his Dragon, but he actually completely fluffs his rolls and isn't able to do a single wound to my Great Unclean One, so he's absolutely fine. Then I pile in with my Plague Bearers over here, and I'm able to do a single wound to Caradhrian, but nothing to the Banner Bearer. And that's fine. So we go into his turn, and he moves them. So Alathanar, shadowy, even runs forward. I think he's going for a last-ditch effort to try and destroy that unit with the objective. So he does take a pot shot at the Plague Bearers and is able to kill one. But then all his archers then take another bunch of shots at the Plague Bearers and are able to kill another 1 or 2. So he charges. He just charges Alathanar straight in and piles in with their first, as you might expect. He's just trying to kill these guys, but he isn't able to actually do anything. I think he does a single wound, which I make him my disgustingly resilient. So that's fine. So I attack my Great Unclean One first, and boom, smash that dragon right in his stupid face. So the dragon goes down, which is brilliant. The main threat that I had left to my army gone. So it really is mine to lose at this point. He piles in with Caradhrian, is able to kill another 3 Plague Bearers, but it doesn't matter now. I can't fail my battle shock, so they're still pinned there. I attack with my Plague Bearers over here, but don't do anything. Then he does pile in an attack with his Banner Bearer and kills another 1. So there's only 1 Plague Bearer left now. So I pile in with my... he attacks with his Phoenix Guard, isn't able to do anything to the Plague Bearers, but is able to put another 2 wounds onto the Herald. So he's only got 1 left now, so that's a bit scary. Might lose my Herald, but that's at this point it's fine. Then my Plague Bearers and Plague Drone both pile into Alathanar and murder him really hard. So I've got this objective now pretty comfortably. And there you have it. That is the end of the game right there. I managed to take his piece of the Celestial Charge while successfully denying my own, and I murdered a bunch of elves, which I'm very happy about. Really good game, really fun game. I really enjoyed this comp system. It's a bit different to the Clash comp, but it allows more to be sort of taken in different ways. I really like the mission. It was really a lot of fun. It was tense down to the wire, so really good. And I'm sure I'll be playing more of that soon. Also a big fan of the Tallyband of Nurgle. I didn't think it was broken, but I many asked my opponent about that. It seemed really strong, but not overly so, because you have to take so many small units. It's not like you keep healing back one big unit to full strength. but still a lot of fun to use. Enjoyed using just pure demons for once, so a lot of fun. So there you go. That's another victory for the Legions of Nurgle, which is great. And there you go. Thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and leave some feedback, like the video, or follow me on Twitter at @morewargames. So thanks very much. I'll have plenty more battle reports in the future. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.